เอาละค่ะทุกท่านคะสำหรับในหัวข้อแรกของเราในวันนี้นะคะย้ำกันอีกหนึ่งครั้งค่ะว่าในช่วงท้ายเราจะมีกับ QR code ให้ทุกท่านสามารถที่จะได้สะสมคะแนนและเดี๋ยวเราจะมาลุ้นรางวัลกันกับรางวัล Samsung Smart Watch นะคะในช่วงท้ายของการจัดงานในวันนี้ค่ะเพื่อที่จะให้ทุกท่านได้ทราบถึงรายละเอียดของหัวข้อแรกและให้ทุกท่านสามารถที่จะได้รับฟังการบรรยายจากวิทยากรที่วันนี้ได้เดินทางมาในแต่ละภาคส่วนพร้อมแล้วค่ะที่จะมอบความรู้ให้กับทุกท่านในวันนี้ and right now distinguished guests we would like to welcome all of you and right now we would like to move all of you let's start with our very first topic today right now with the first one from our speaker so please give a round of applause for welcome Mr. Lai Wan Mang Head of Department of Natural Resources and Environmental Economics Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment the Socialist Republic of Vietnam สวัสดีค่ะและลำดับถัดมาค่ะขอเสียงปรบมือต้อนรับคุณทัชวัฒน์เตชะมงคลกิจ Chief Director Royce Universal ค่ะสวัสดีค่ะลำดับถัดมาขอเสียงปรบมือต้อนรับคุณธนชาติเหล่าสิริพงศ์ Assistant Vice President Specialty and Bioplastic Business Thai Wa Public Company Limited ค่ะสวัสดีค่ะกับหัวข้อการบรรยายในหัวข้อแรกวันนี้ดิฉันขออนุญาตส่งต่อให้กับผู้ดำเนินรายการปรบมือดังๆต้อนรับดร.ธัญพรกฤติทยาวุฒิค่ะ UN Global Compact Network Thailand สวัสดีค่ะและนี่คือผู้ที่จะมาให้ความรู้กับทุกท่านในวันนี้ปรบมือดังให้กับทั้ง4ท่านอีกหนึ่งครั้งค่ะ
Hello, good morning everyone. We are welcome to the session that we are the wake up call. This morning we have a very good time together that we both have online and people are on the site. Let me also have introduction about our team and ourselves, about how can we have a new innovations or the idea that you can change either your own mindset, our own business, and we can change the way we are living together. Maybe I'd like to have a self-introduction from our key speakers, and also he would like to also mention about his own business and his own company. So first of all, I would like to introduce to Kun Tao. We're going to have a little bit flexible for this stage on calling by the nickname. Kun Tao, Kun Thanachat Lao Siripong, could you introduce about your company in a short brief, please?
Thank you ครับธนชาตินะครับเหล่าสิริพงศ์ from Taiwan นะครับก็ responsible for bioplastics ครับ and also the specialty business Taiwan นะครับ we have been 76 years นะครับ in Thailand นะครับ Vietnam and ASEAN countries China operation นะครับour core business is about the tapioca business also vermicelli and rice noodle under the brand Mangkon Khu Double Dragon นะครับ I think you may familiar and we also now the past 2 years we also venture into the bioplastics how to actually make the better world with less plastic waste thank you
wow we had a lot of food that we had ate from Mangkon Khu นะคะวุ้นเส้นใช่ไหมคะ and many others wow exciting we can learn more about the business and also the innovation ค่ะ coming up next I'd like to have an introduction to know more about the new business in Thailand from คุณพลคุณทัชวัฒน์นะคะช่วยเล่าเล็กน้อยค่ะเกี่ยวกับธุรกิจของ Royce Universal ค่ะ
ครับสวัสดีครับ thank you very much my name is Paul we are company we are in the plastic industry.We are having the two different main industry for the packaging, which is very not common, and another is on the building material, which is on the past we are produce a lot of plastic for packaging, and now we are doing the recycle, both plastic and building material, which is to the consumer and where the consumer can circulate back and we recycle and back to the consumer again.Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to learn another ideas of how can we add the value to the plastic,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Okay, ค่ะ And coming up next are our third introductions from Vietnam. Kun Lai Van Mai, he is Kun Mai, the head of the departments from the Natural Resource and Environment Economics Institute of Strategies. So he may introduce a little bit about the way of thinking from Vietnam. Could you please introduce about your business or your organization, please?
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Nice to meet you. My name is Lai Van Mạnh. I'm head of the Department of Economic of Natural Resources and Environmental. Under the Institute of Strategy and Policy on Natural Resources and Environmental, under the MONRE in the Vietnam, our responsibility is study and propose the policy and the legislative framework for the government to promote on the aspect of natural resources management and environmental protection and climate change mitigation and adaptation. Vietnam, as MONRE, we have a responsibility to study and propose policy and regulation on the circular economy in the Vietnam. And we also have a responsibility to propose some economic instrument, for example, green bond, green credit on to promote the green transition in the Vietnam. So we expect that we can connect information from the business sector and the minister in the Vietnam to propose a suitable policy or the regulation on promoting the circularity transition or the green transition in the Vietnam. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. On the green finance, Thailand also would like to learn more from Vietnam, not only for the policy that can help feedback to the business sectors. And we had many of the common area in Thailand, like agriculture, that we are having a lot of key challenging based on the climate that we need to adapt. So once we talk about the adaptation, let's start with the climate mitigation by learning from the business in Thailand. So first of all, we would like to back to Taiwan on how the companies learn on their own business. And yes, you also early enough to transform the way of thinking on the business from Taiwan. Maybe back to Kun Pon, could you please talk about your key business and what are the innovation that you think for the circularities?
ครับผม Thank you very much นะครับ First of all, thanks for opportunity for Taiwan once again to be here. Let me actually address the tapioca business as well as the bioplastics together. Basically, the tapioca industry is related to agricultural directly, and for Thailand, tapioca is actually number one exporter. But of course, last year Vietnam take over the position of exporting. But what I would like to say is tapioca is the number 3 important crop for Thailand, impacting to the farmers more than 1 million rice that Thai economies, agriculture farmers relate to. A lot of the families actually relate to in this industry. Also, what governments try to support to improve the GDP, actually they say that the yield, productivity is very important. Also, how to make this business sustainable in Thailand and global. So for Taiwan, we are, if the farmers switch to other crops or they stop doing the tapioca farming, we die. Because we have the 6 operations. And what happens to these days is the climate change, the rain change, the number of water actually reduced it as a lot of diseases. And also the yield over the year has been decreasing. So that's why Taiwan, we take this as a serious problem. And we look into the problems now, actually soil is the key issues that we have to all protect this. And also, we have to make sure we don't really release the methane or the carbon dioxide back. So what we actually try to do, we actually use the waste of cassava to produce biogas. We also use the waste from the biogas production, sludge and cassava waste to make the biofertilizer. And then we actually provide this back to the farmers. So then actually the soil improvement has been improving. So then what happened is we see the yield improvement 15 to 40%. That's what we did the innovation, and we try to scale it up. We try to educate to the farmers.
Thank you. You had mentioned about the technologies, but back a little bit about any target on the carbon neutrality that Taiwan has thought, and also with that target is very challenging.
Yeah.
How you engage with the farmers, and from not only the farmers, from the farm to shelf. How could you explain about the way that Taiwan engage with the local people, academics, and
Yep.
any others?
Yep. Thank you very much. Basically, at the farm level, farmer developments, we cannot really explain how to measure carbons and how to reduce. But we also work with the cooperation. We work with Tapioca Association. We also work with the institute to really educate and work with the provincial areas, and to really tell them the impact of using too much petroleum or chemicals that impacts to the soil. And then we also teach them how to actually use the biofertilizer together with the chemicals fertilizers. So then the farmers can balance in terms of environmental impacts, also economicals. So they don't really spend the money too much.
Thank you. And how Taiwan engage to those people? Is it via any expertise from the local communities, or Taiwan you have your own teams to come to them?
Thank you. We have about 20 agronomists, and we work with provincial, basically the cooperation, or even the village leaders, yeah, to really go and then do the scale up. We have been doing this in Thailand, in Cambodia, also Vietnam. Yeah. We already engaged with about 500 farmers together, and we plan to increase to 2,000 farmers very soon, end of this year and beginning of next year.
Oh, thank you. We have seen the momentum, the movement from the experts, from the innovation throughout the farmers, and using the wisdom of the local communities,
Exactly.
from the thought leaders of each community to learn together. And I wish you success of the 2,000 farmers very soon. We would like to learn more about the another community and the business from Thailand, which we had thought about the thing that is close to us, which is plastic. And sometimes we thought that the circularity maybe start from the waste segregation. But however, any kind of the waste that we can prevent is better. However, what we are talking today is the idea and innovation from the company named TMR Group Royce Universal. Now, we would like to move a little bit on plastic based on the innovation. Could you help us know about any challenging, and also what should be the solution that you could recommend?
Thank you for the question. Okay, in the plastic, we are doing quite a lot of pollution actually, for more than 40-50 years of the plastic. But the world needs plastic. So what our company right now is doing, we are focusing on the recycling and upcycling, both from the packaging, because food packaging is needed plastic. We have no choice much, because you need to keep the food for long shelf life. Okay, but the way how to deal with this plastic and become a circular economy actually is that there are many solutions, but not yet implement. And meanwhile, not only for plastic packaging, but also a lot of the building materials nowadays, which can be plastic and can be reused again and recycled. So what Royce doing, we are introduced this innovation we call Royce cycling. Royce cycling, not recycle. That means we are offering the cycling of the material whereby we have the least transaction from consumer back to recycle and back to consumer again, which is shortest transaction. This is to reduce the carbon emission during the transportation. We have this program with a few of the leading, like the mall group today. They are using our material web for the decoration, which after their change of their design, they will production and use back into their decoration one more time. This will not go to the landfill or to the outside anymore. This is really total circular economy. Yeah, that's what we are trying to launch this program next year, which is very, very promising, very, very promising. For instance, in this show, you may see a lot of decoration here. All of it is where it's go. It will take a long, long journey before go to the recycle, and some of them they go to landfill. But with our Royce Cycling, we have a lot of new material whereby all of this exhibition, all the panel, we can recycle back and you can use for next month exhibition one more time. This is something that we are introducing next year. I think we are serving the really circular economy pattern, really, yes. Yeah.
Thank you. This is a very good challenge that we have a lot of company also aiming the same thing. But back to the progress, how do you know that circularity is happen? Anything that you can measure and count on numbers?
Well, our measurement, we will measure on the tonnage of the plastic or the consumption. Then we convert the consumption into the mineral and become a material and product finally. So our measurement will be based on the total consumption on plastic industry, which is in almost every sector that combine of plastic. We cannot deny. But all of this we can measure very easily for us because we are in the plastic. We know the volume of the new material coming, the consumption per head, per year in each segment. Yes.
Do you have any number in your mind that you set as a target for the company that would help?
Well, if for the building material, we are going to recycle about 15 million square meter. 15 million square meter of their surface finishing. This is our target. Yes.
Oh, okay, thank you. So with the good focus of the rPET, right, on the polyethylene.
This will be on the polyethylene, PVC, and many others.
Including many others.
Including many others. When we are talking about the plastic material, we are not only talking about PET. PET will be on the packaging side, which is mostly widely used. This is very common. But in the bigger picture, it's mostly about the construction material, whereby it's much, much more than packaging, actually. The world consists of the living, the construction is much far bigger size than packaging, actually, in terms of tonnage. In terms of the pollution, the construction produce a lot of pollution, actually, not on the packaging.
Thank you. That's an unknown area that we maybe have, including the plastic from the fiber, any other form.
Yes,
besides
yes,
the packaging. And we
Yes.
also learning that the way of reuse, recycle them, upcycle them also meaningful in the industrial.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you.
correct.
So we have another gentleman waiting to explain and exchange some ideas, and then we're going to have a second round later. So now I'd like to introduce Kun Lai Wan Mai. Kun Mai, for the head of the department from the Monre, the Minister of the Natural Resource and Environment Economic from Vietnam. He is leading the head of the department in the Institute of Strategies. We like to ask him about the way of setting up the policy in Vietnam. Could you help explain to us about the way of your organization leading the circular economy policy and also any strategies that you like to introduce, please?
Thank you so much. First of all, I would like to talk about the term of the circular economy. I suppose that we have a responsibility to study and propose for the Vietnam government in 2020. We have a responsibility to propose the main initiative for the circular economy in the national strategy on the social economic development in the period of 2020 to 2030. So it is a challenge for us due to in that time the concept of the circular economy is too new in the Vietnam. So we have to connect the information and scientific evidence to demonstrate for the government accept the concept of circular economy in the national strategy on socio-economic development. We working closely with the international organization. We working closely with the UNDP in the Vietnam and the other international to explain the concept, the value, the function of circular economy for the government agency. So, and the next time we have a responsibility to develop the concept of the circular economy in the law on the environmental protection that approved by the National Assembly in the Vietnam in the 2020. So in the I we propose some the main regulation on the law on the environmental protection to promote the circular economy, including the concept of the circular economy, including the responsibility of Geneva Ministry and the local authority to mainstreaming the circularity solution into the development blending and the sectoral development planning and the responsibility. And after that, we also propose some the regulation on the criteria, the incentive policy, and the roadmap for Vietnam. And in this year, we have a responsibility to propose the national action plan on the implementation of the circular economy in the Vietnam that we are submitting for our minister to continue to revise and update in the next period, and I hope that the NAPC in the Vietnam will be approved by the Prime Minister at the end of this year. So it is some task we working on the circular economy in the Vietnam. So what kind of the policy that Vietnam are focused on the circularity transition in the Vietnam? I think that it is a difficult question for me. It belongs the stakeholder in the economy. When we look at the circularity transition at the producer, we have some key policy. For example, we propose the EPR, Extended Producer Responsibility. We propose some other regulation, for example, best available technology. How to promote the best available technology in the production process, something like that. We also propose some regulation on the eco-labor to promote the eco-product in the market. We also propose some regulation on the green procurement for the government. And in order to support for the financial approach by the company on promoting the circular economy, we also propose two regulations on the law on the environmental protection about the green bond and green credit. And in this year, we also developed the green taxonomy. And we expect that the green taxonomy also approved by the government in this year. So it is some response policy and I think that the policy to promote the circular economy it is a big topic. Belong the aspect we look at the economy. For example, we look at the producer aspect, or we look at the consumption consumer aspect. We Vietnam also propose some the policy in the legislation framework. So it is some the information I can share with you overall about the policy. And when we talk about the specific policy, it will be detailed explanation for you about the function, the objective, or the impact of its policy. For example, EPR, for example, green bond, something like that. So it is some information that I share with you about the general framework about the policy on the circularity transition in the Vietnam. Yeah, in general, Vietnam government incentive or stakeholder in the economy apply the circularity solution in the production and in the consumption area, something like that, and waste management. So it is general information about the policy in the Vietnam. Yeah.
Learning about this, we're going to have few questions later on. Before we go to the green finance and also talking about the green bond and taxonomy, let's learn more about your business sectors in Vietnam. You mentioned about study the feedback from the business, from the policy dialogue, for example, from the agriculture.
Yeah.
from the e-commerce and also some technology like industrial. Can you share example of what they are doing on those kind of business? You are learning from them and what they are doing and how. Later on, we're gonna ask about those green finance, how it helped them.
Yeah, thank you so much for. My position is not I don't working in the business sector. I working in the policy aspect, and our responsibility to study and to understand about the practice, to understand about the barrier that the Vietnam company are facing on the green transition and circularity transition. So in this process, we also have many opportunity to working closely and to set up some meeting with several company, corporation and sectoral association in the Vietnam to try to understand the barrier, the potential, and what the company needs to support from the government for the green transition and circularity transition in the Vietnam. So when we working closely with the agriculture association and some the agriculture company in the Vietnam, we also identify that Vietnam also have many the company try to apply the circularity solution in their processing, something like that. For example, TH2 mill, for example, Vina mill in the Vietnam. When we working with the association of e-commerce here in the Vietnam, there are some the company in the Vietnam also try to apply the reuse recycle solution in the value chain. For example, Lazada, for example, Building Bond. When we working with the association of beverage, there are some company in the Vietnam, including the Thai company in the Vietnam, also have idea and propose a policy solution for the government to promote the recycling and up-recycling in the beverage sector, in the something like that. I think that from the practical, I think Vietnam also have some the good practice model. And we need, from the government, we need to help for the government agency identify what are the good practical model, how to promote, how to explain the model in practice. Now, Vietnam only have one or two the company apply the circularity solution. But in the future, we need the more, we need 100, we need 1,000 company will apply the circularity solution. It will be the signal for the successful in the Vietnam. And it is the responsibility of the government agency. And my responsibility, I also need to discuss more and more with the company to understand the barrier, to understand about the potential, and to develop the regulation, the suitable regulation to support for the economy transition. So it is and about the green finance. Green finance now is a big opportunity for the Vietnam and ASEAN company now. As I know that Thailand in the last month also approved the green taxonomy. Vietnam also try to develop the green taxonomy in the Vietnam. I think from the government aspect, develop the green taxonomy is very important to support for the banking sector. They identify what are the green project, what are the green investment, and how to help for the banker, the investor, they create the believer on the market, on the green transition. Usually when we talk about the green, still have other aspect is green, I'm sorry, I forgot the term, but yeah, so we also facing with some of the challenges. So developed from the government, we try to working closely with the State Bank in the Vietnam, the Ministry of the Finance in the Vietnam to develop the financial resources and policy to support for the Vietnam companies. They approach with the green finance in the Vietnam. I hope that in the future. Of course, from the policy to practice, it is a long distance and it is a challenge for the government. We going to develop the more and more the incentive, more and more the guideline for the company in the Vietnam they can apply.
Thank you. We learn about international companies and the learning that we would do. Maybe back to Thai companies, if you have anything that you can share. Like Taiwan also run the business in many countries, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Vietnam as well. Do you also see the opportunity or any recommended solution that you can add on?
Definitely, and thanks that you shared about the policy and framework and roadmap, country roadmap is very important because that's what we see the challenge. Because sustainability, circular economies, you cannot do it by yourself alone. You really need the whole stakeholders and the ecosystem. I think what we try to do ourselves without getting support from the government, we try to see the model that is self-sufficient and can be scalable in the value chain. Okay? So then we try to see like what's the problem of the industry. I think the soil, as we mentioned, and how can we utilize up as much as possible. So we see what is left in the farmers, probably biomass, and some leftover byproducts. Yeah. So we try to help them by innovate and investing to study the microorganism. So this is actually using the biotechnologies. We also work with the NIA, National Innovation Agencies of Thailand, and then we come up with the bio inoculant that can actually send to every farmers or even the starch factory. Yeah. We now in the situation that the drought, less water is coming. And we don't have the money to really investing for a lot of reservoir. We don't have a lot of money to really make the piping and infrastructure everywhere. Yeah? So how can we make practical and economical approach to the farmers? So we look back and we look at the European and Western world that they use the mulch film to cover the soil. So there's two benefits that. So the farmers don't need to use glyphosate. So the glyphosate, as we know, is very toxic. Yeah? If you overuse, it goes into the water and back to us. It's a carcinogenic, right? So with using mulch film, improve that. But it's not enough because it's still expensive for tapioca and never been used. So we try to combine the bioplastic know-how that we have and also working with partners. So we see, what else that this model can bring the benefit to farmers. So, actually it keep moisture, improve the yield by 50%. So then we pack it as we call Taiwan model. And we try in one area in northeastern part of Thailand. One of probably this area, they said, is one of the worst soil condition in Thailand. Organic matter almost 0%. So the Tapioca Institute provide the land to Taiwan for a very low renting. So our mission is to bring the life back to the soil again. So now it's improving. So we use the nature for the nature improving, and then with the bio mulch film that degrading back to the soil. So then we create a nice home for tapioca and microorganisms. So I try to answer the moderators. We would like to replicate this to Vietnam, to Cambodia and Laos, because at the end, the starch factory, alcohol factory, we use the same tapioca root supply. We don't want to compete to get the supply by increasing the price. And we don't want to see farmers having lower yield every year, and then more and more expensive chemicals and the material to be using for farming. So we want to actually offer this solution, so then everyone win. So the whole value chain win. Starch factory, alcohol producers, biorefinery can actually get enough supply. and the farmers actually can get more profit because of the yield improvement, and they can even use their waste and byproducts to actually do the farm business. It's very sustainable. That's what we see.
Listen to the mission is very tough because they are linking to many of the people who may not have a similar to awareness on or similar educate on the technologies. Can Kun Tao share some of the numbers? If you can tell us, for example, you mentioned about engaging how many farmers, like 2,000. And if you like to mention about the soil and the earth fertilizer, do you have any number that we can have ideas? Let's say how much of the land or how do you see the progress? Anything that you can share with us, we can learn together with you.
Thank you. We actually use in our CQ area that we got this land from Tapioca Institute. So that's 1,000 rai is applied, and now we multiply this with our industry partners or competitors. Yeah? But we said you are so big, you eat a lot of cassava, so we are open. You can use our model. We have no problem to learn and pest into your farmers. So we're going to see probably more than another 1,000 rice to use this model. And we also see after the result in November show very promising. We also open for more companies to take over. But one thing we see the difference is the starch factory or even us. In the past, we never been responsible. We are more as a consumer to waiting for farmers to help us, to supply us. But now it's really our responsibility. If we don't do it, who? If we don't do it today, it's as when. So that's why a starch factory we see from the downstream coming back to the upstream to really help to make sure everyone can moving passing this big challenges, climate change together.
Wow. With this time, we think about how can we have a better knowledge sharings from the company who are leading beyond the EPR policy arrive in Vietnam or even Thailand is not yet available for the extended producer responsible policy or the act. But Taiwan also showing the case study that how the company think ahead of the game and talking together with the original producers, farmers, to adapt the new mindsets of preventing the waste but upcycle. No matter how many cycle that they can use, the agriculture is never waste because the agriculture can be transformed into some other thing, either gonna be almost the waste but not yet go to the biogas and biomass and even further using the starch for any other bioplastic. So last but not least, we would like to also utilize the opportunity you are on the stage here to share any key takeaway. If you like to leave any message to the audience, any of you can also think about if you can do some knowledge sharing back to your business, back to your policy, any learning that you like us, our people from the SX community to learn. Please, you have about 2 minutes each to capture on the key takeaway.
I think from our side, as mentioned, I think the sustainability climate change is our issues and is our responsibilities. I think we should try to support and sponsors who's doing good businesses. We are not saying Taiwan is doing good, but if anyone in the value chain really actually taking a good initiative, I think we should actually recognize, acknowledge them, and also try to educate and provide the information across, because everyone actually can count and can actually make the world better. Thank you.
Thank you, Ka.
Yes, for me, I think I'm plastic. We come from very daily product like. I think our challenge is the consumer. They know how to use more, better, and recycle, and with more circularity of this economy. The challenge that the education, as he mentioned, is one of the key, but the fundamental of this is everybody need to understand that what you are consume, what your consumption, it could be the next raw material, always. This is something that I would like to address in this for the consumer. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. And how about from the policy?
Yeah, from my side, I think that have some the key terms that I would like to mention. The first is we have to learn together on the circular economy, on the green transition. The second, the innovation. We need the innovation from the board of the stakeholder in the economy in the ASEAN region. Not only the company innovation, not only the consumer innovation, the government agency also have to implement the innovation to create the condition for the ASEAN sustainable development. I think that we need, and we have to learn together. I also have some key message for today's meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to also mention a little bit captures on what we are talking before we ending the session, that when we have an analysis of the real economics in the world, we know that natural resource is never enough. Even the business we are running very, very good, but in some years in the future, we will lack of the resource. We will find the cost of materials, the cost of the resource are too expensive because we have a scarcity. So back to the discussion today, each of the speaker has mentioned about the benefit of using the new mindsets on the circularity. And circular economy we has designed by retrospective and also regenerative, like Taiwan mentioned, is never ending. How can we support from the original soil and the earth? And as you may know, material is also come from the earth. How could we support the biodiversity, enrich the earth, enrich the resource together? And one part that we may not mention today, but we also learned from Vietnam, is about water. How can we prevent using water or back to utilize the wastewater? In Vietnam, they also have a standard for the wastewater. If we have any new opportunity in the future, let's discuss further about how can we enhance the natural capital. The natural capital like water, soil should be valued into the bank account, into the company investment, into the book. Many of the country in the world like Australia and coming to Vietnam mention about the natural capital like water in the book account of the company. So some of the lead company in Thailand start to evaluate if they're gonna utilize the water in our own system, how many years that we still invest on water. The investment on the circularity of the water similar to the net positive that bring back the water that we utilize return to nature. And we had a new word, net positive, ensuring that no matter the natural resource that we use, it could be generative and return back to the original. And net positive meaning that we will not utilize them, but we can produce the natural resource and return them. So thank you so much of the listening and be witness with us that with the new innovation and technology, we could change and make a better living with the circular economy. Thank you for all the speakers. Thank you for your time and also the audience.
Thank you.
ขอบคุณค่ะเวทีนี้เราก็จบแล้วนะคะในส่วนของคำถามคำตอบถ้าหากว่าในส่วนของ participant อยากจะถามเดี๋ยวอาจจะมีพบกันด้านล่างด้านหน้าเวทีค่ะขอบคุณทุกท่านค่ะ
ขอบคุณทุกท่านอีกหนึ่งครั้งนะคะปรบมือดังให้กับสปีกเกอร์ของเราทุกท่านด้วยค่ะ Thank you so much. Thank you for your time and for share about the knowledge for everyone right here. แล้วก็เมื่อสักครู่นี้ค่ะกับสิ่งที่เราได้รับฟังกันไปรวมทั้งกับคำว่าพลาสติกวันนี้ค่ะเราสามารถที่จะร่วมเป็นส่วนหนึ่งในการที่จะลดการเกิดการใช้พลาสติกได้และอีกทั้งกับการแยกขยะพลาสติกให้ถูกประเภทให้ถูกวิธีก็เป็นส่วนสำคัญค่ะที่จะสามารถทำให้โลกของเราน่าอยู่มากยิ่งขึ้นแล้วก็จะเป็นการลดขั้นตอนของการนำกลับมารีไซเคิลอีกด้วยวันนี้นะคะวิธีการง่ายๆเริ่มได้จากตัวคุณเองค่ะ ปรบมือดังให้กับทั้ง4ท่านอีก1ครั้งค่ะ